the gateway to the world, while learning a second language is essential in the 20th century. In our era defined by hyperconnectivity and the blurring of geographical borders, the ability to communicate in more than one language has transitioned from a prestigious extra to a fundamental necessity. While English remains the global lingua franca, relying solely on one's native tongue is akin to viewing the world through a keyhole. Learning a second or third language is an arduous journey, but it is perhaps the most rewarding intellectual and personal investment an individual can make. It is not merely about memorizing vocabulary or mastering syntax. It is about expanding to boundaries of the human experience. 1. Cognitive entrainment, a gym for the brain. From a biological perspective, learning a new language is one of the most complex tasks the human brain can undertake. Research in neuroscience has consistently shown that bilingualism significantly alters the brain structure and function. Improve executive function. Multilingual individuals often show superior skills in execute function, the brain's ability to manage attention, switch between tasks, and solve problems. Because a bilingual person the most constantly suppresses one language to speak another. Their brain becomes adept at filtering information. Delayed cognitive decline. Studies have indicated that learning language can delay the onset of Alzheimer's and dementia by up to 5 years. By creating a cognitive reserve, the brain builds more resilient neural pathways. Sharper memory. Learning a language requires both short-term and long-term memory to work in tandem. This constant exercise strengthens the memory muscles, making it easier to retain information in other areas of life. 2. Economic opportunities and career versatility. In the modern job market, being monolingual is increasingly becoming a disadvantage as companies expand their reach into emerging markets. They seek employees who can navigate the nuances of international relations. Competitive edge. On assume fluency a second language, be it Mandarin, Spanish, German, or Arabic, acts as a massive signal of discipline, adaptability, and cultural intelligence. Higher inner potential. Statistics suggest that bilingual employees often earn between 2% to 5% more than their monolingual counterparts. In sectors like international law, healthcare, and global logistics, this gap can be even wider. Global networking. Language is the ultimate networking tool. It allows professionals to build deeper, more authentic relationships with clients and partners, moving past the cold formality of a translator and into the realm of genuine human connection. 3. Cultural empathy and the date of the other. Perhaps the most profound impact of learning a language is the shift in perspective it provides. Language and culture are inextricably linked. You cannot truly understand one without the other. If you talk to a man in language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his language, that goes to his heart. Nelson Mandela. When we learn a language, we gain access to the unarticulated concepts that define a society. We learn the history, the humor, and the specific worldview of a people. This process naturally fosters empathy. It breaks down the us versus them mentality, as it becomes difficult to humanize a group of people once you can understand their poetry, their jokes, and their daily struggles. In a world currently grappling with polarization, language learning is a vital tool for peace and diplomacy. 4. Personal growth and resilience. The process of learning a language is, by its very nature, a lesson in humility. It requires the learner to become a child again, making mistakes, mispronouncing words, and occasionally feeling foolish. 1. For 1. Resilience. Pushing through the plateau where progress feels slow builds immense character. It teaches the value of consistency over intensity. 4.2 Confidence. There is a unique rush of dopamine that comes from how your first successful conversation in a foreign tongue. That confidence often spills over into other areas of life, such as public speaking or creative writing. 4.3 Tolerance for ambiguity. Language learning must learn to be comfortable with not understanding everything immediately. This tolerance for ambiguity is a key trait of successful leaders and innovators. 5. Travel. From tourist to traveler. There is vast difference between being a tourist and being a traveler. A tourist stays on the beaten path, buffered by English menus and guide tours. A traveler armed with the local language can step off the path. Learning the local language transforms travel from a passive observation into an active immersion. It allows you to navigate local transportation with ease, order food that isn't on the English menu, engage in spontaneous conversation with locals that often lead to the most memorable experience of a trip. Understand the nuance of local etiquette, ensuring you show respect to the host culture. Conclusion: the ultimate investment. Learning another language is not a destination, it is lifelong pursuit that keeps the mind sharp and the heart open. While technology and AI-driven translation tools are becoming incredibly sophisticated, they can never replace the soul of human-to-human communication. They can translate words, but they cannot translate to sparkling in a Y, in a I, Y, an I, the specific weight of sign, or the shared language over a font. In the final analysis, learning a language is an act of optimism. It is an investment in your own brain, your career, and the global community. It is a declaration that you're willing to step outside your comfort zone to meet the rest of the world halfway. Whether you're 6 or 60, there is not better time to start than now. The world is waiting to be heard in its own words. Thank you.